New Orleans 26-24 winners over Philadelphia. These teams average a tremendous amount of points and yards combined, over 800 yards, and they certainly did not live up to that billing. But Drew Brees, as you guys were basically indicating, had trouble getting the ball to Jimmy Graham. You guys stated previously, Marcus Colston. Why? Why was it so hard?
Well, because defenses adjust in the playoffs. They were doubling Jimmy Graham the entire game.
Yes.
Jimmy Graham, first of all, got hurt late in the year, and his numbers were not nearly as impressive as they were in the first half of the year.
Yeah.
And on the road, it's clearly harder. The Saints have a problem on the road. They're not,
but they won.
They did. They won. It was a huge road win. And their defense is good. They did. LaShawn McCoy, I think he had 77 yards rushing. He only caught 4 passes. They took him out of the passing game. Rob Ryan did a great job. That was a really impressive defensive performance. And the Saints defense is much better than it's been even in this whole Saint era of greatness. This is the best defense that they've had. They always felt lucky to me, the Saints defense. Always.
Well, you never think of them as a defensive team at all.
Right.
Yeah, but I mean, they were the year they won the Super Bowl, they ran like 112 interceptions back for touchdowns. I mean, they got the turnovers were. It felt lucky. This feels like they got a plan. But the Eagles defense was pretty good too.
No, the Eagles defense was good, but going back to the Saints, excuse me, one thing that I noticed was Keenan Lewis, when he went out, I felt like that was going to shift the entire game. Excuse me, guys, I'm sorry. They put in Corey White, who's a rookie, and Nick Foles and the Eagles attacked him every single play, but they attacked him like crazy. And I really thought that would be the shift. That would be it.
It was a shift.
It was a shift, but I thought it would be a big enough shift where the Eagles would then go on to win the game.
Keep in mind, it was 20-7, and then the Eagles went ahead. So, I mean, it was a great shift. It's just that the Saints ran a great drive, relying when it was 3rd and inches on what? Twice, the quarterback sneak, which never fails, ever, literally.
And I tweeted to you, my friend.
Yeah, and yet it's like as then we saw in the games on Sunday, or at least the first game on Sunday, was like neither Mike McCoy nor Marvin Lewis saw that game.
Yeah.
You're like, Philip Rivers is 6'5", and just for the love of God, I know he's not really athletic, but he can take a snap and lean forward and get that much or that much.
And have a fullback push him.
Have a fullback push him, right? Just you'll get it. You'll get it.
Did you guys think the injury to Pierre Thomas would be bigger than it was for the Saints? No, not at all. Not one bit.
No,
Mark Ingram had a great game.
Mark Ingram had a great game. He really probably played his best game ever.
Yeah, and Pierre Thomas has had good games and fair games. I mean, he's not. It's not like Jamal Charles, It's. But I think the Corey White coming. Listen, they always try and exploit. The Packers tried to do it to the 49ers with Carlos Rogers outgoing to Parrish Cox, who was a 49er, then signed by the Seahawks, re-signed 5 days ago by the Niners, and started. So I mean,
interesting.
So he played well enough.
Yeah, he played well enough. Yeah.
By the way, I don't remember who the rookie was, but at one point, because of the injuries that the Packers, they were decimated on defense, they started a first-round defensive end at linebacker because they were so decimated with injuries.
At linebacker.
Yeah, at outside linebacker.
Yeah.
But they drafted him as a defensive end.
And by the way, that's part of the reason why I'm sure Colin Kaepernick had the ease with which he gained 100 yards.
Yeah.
I mean, they were down since the season started so many linebackers.
Yeah.
Philadelphia, by the way, now 4-5 at home. Nick Foles 8-3 as a starter. You indicated LaShawn McCoy 77 yards. They were held to 80 total. So now I guess we could even transition into this. The Saints are going to Seattle. As we all know, they were crushed by Seattle at Seattle.
Emotionally and physically.
And physically?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Seattle.
We would anticipate that they would be much better, obviously.
Well, you'd anticipate that they'd be better, because they won a road playoff game already, which I think has, as Ben has alluded to, it was something that they needed to get over the perception of. They didn't crush Philadelphia, but they won, and for them that's good. Also, they have a smart quarterback and a smart coaching staff. So you get blown away by a team like Seattle, in Seattle.
They've lost one game in 2 years.
I hate saying these things, the learning experience, but I mean, you do. The team realizes what they didn't do last time, and they have to do this time. Mm-hmm. It's not like the Seattle Seahawks have gone to sleep on that either, so they're going to be preparing in different ways. So I think it's going to be a really tough task for them to win up there.
Very quickly. Chip Kelly with the Eagles. Successful first year.
Yeah, I'd say so.
Obviously.
Yeah,
I mean, we should not undermine that.
No,
he
stumbled upon Nick Foles too, but I think he proved that
stumbled upon it. But
he drafted him, didn't he? He drafted Nick Foles? Did he
No,
not?
he stumbled upon he didn't draft him.
Nick
No.
Foles
He's a second-year player, Nick Foles?
Nick Foles
Oh, excuse me,
yeah.
second-year player.
Yeah.
So I'm just saying, don't undermine Chip Kelly.
No,
not
his
you
team
guys.
was prepared every week. I mean, maybe they were blown out once. They also blew out another
Their defense got a lot better. So
Yeah,
the defense
it got
was a joke, and then
much
people
better.
covering the NFC East in training camp were like consistently writing, teams are going to score so many points on the Eagles this year. They can't cover anybody. And Chip Kelly doesn't come in with this mindset of, here, I'm going to fix it. You know,
well, they were also 0-4 at one point, were they not? The Eagles were 0-4.
No. They won their opener. They beat the Redskins 78-2 in the first half.
So probably 1-3.
But they came back, and the 4-5 at home. Again, they had that weird home road split. But the fact is, they were 3-5, and then they went 7-1 the second half of the season. So that was more telling. Is the manner in which they finished the season.
People were surprised they were 3-5. Even. I mean, they won games that they shouldn't have won, but they were in game. I thought the guy did a great job coaching.
Yeah, clearly he knows what he's doing, and so I think that again. That said, Lincoln Financial Stadium or whatever the hell, where the vet does not have the same noise issue that Seattle does, and that screws up every road team. The Saints, who it seems...
Not the Cardinals. Didn't screw up the Cardinals.
Didn't screw up the Cardinals, yeah. And the Seahawks had a tendency to overlook some people. I mean, they clearly shrugged their shoulders when the Jaguars, the Buccaneers came in. You know, they were like, and then they were like, oh, we're down.
21-0.
And then they came back and won it.
Yeah.
But and the Cardinals are good enough to sustain that. But the Seahawks were in a position where that win mattered, but they basically had a game to give. They had a game in hand, and they let that one go. I don't... They're beatable. Could the Saints beat them? Of course, it's possible. It's Drew Brees. It's the Saints. It's Sean Payton.
Like if you were going to pick three teams to go in there and possibly win, even with the loss they had there,
the Bears,
Saints would be one of the teams I'd pick.
I think that the Saints, what clearly seems to me, and this is just straight observation, I don't even know if it's true, but the Saints, who rely so much on being able to communicate at the line of scrimmage, Drew Brees does, with what he needs to do, and he can't do it there. I thought that's one reason why they look bad.
That's a good point.
So I think they're at a particular disadvantage there. So I think the Saints are at a slightly bigger disadvantage than teams that are like power running teams that don't. You know, I think the Niners have a better shot, and they looked horrible there.
They looked terrible there, twice in a row.
I don't think the Saints are going to win that game, and I don't think it's going to be. I don't think it's going to be close. I think they'll get taken out of their game.